Hey everybody, it is Barbara with C&B Entertainment, and I am coming on because I have a friend who's visiting, and she has a business which I believe would be beneficial to someone out there, or you can, see if it would be beneficial for you. And I just wanted to showcase her business on today. So everyone, I'd like to introduce to you real quickly, Miss Jenna Bonner. Hey Jenna,
Hello.
how you doing?
Good.
And if you
Thanks for having
notice, yeah, thanks for coming on board. I really appreciate it. If you notice at the very bottom, it says grief coach. And that's what she is. So, can you please share with everyone what
Sure.
is a grief coach?
Sure, I'd love to. So, a grief coach is someone who can help you navigate through loss, whether that being the loss of a loved one or a pet. But that's not really where grief stops. There's also loss with life circumstances and life situations, such as a divorce or having a baby. Just being diagnosed with some kind of disease, or possibly a job change. All of those can bring on some kind of grief. And it's, coaching is very similar to counseling.
Okay.
It's not exactly the same, but, very similar. Coaching is very client-led, and I will ask questions as a coach and get you thinking. And then you do a lot of the talking, but I talk as well, and I can't even give advice. But it is very client-led coaching.
Okay.
And I feel like counseling, there's a little bit more advice, but I can also do that as well.
Okay, client-led. That's good. Yeah. That's good to know. So, what made you decide to want to be a grief coach?
Well,
this is interesting.
Yeah. Well, I've experienced a lot of loss in my own life, even at an early age. I won't go into everything, but I've lost, at this point, I've lost all of my grandparents.
Okay.
And I've lost many friends, even tragically, a couple of friends were killed in a car accident. And one friend died really early on to cancer. So,
oh goodness.
I've experienced pet loss too. I've had many pets that, have died.
Like family.
And, they are.
Yeah.
And the biggest loss that I've experienced is actually just recently. How long ago was it now? Like 4 months ago, my dad passed away. So,
oh goodness, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, and
so, how did you handle grief when you were losing these people in your life? And the different.
Well, I am a very creative person.
Okay.
So whenever I lose somebody, I always get like pictures out, and I want to like scrapbook, and I want to like look through all those pictures and really, memorialize them through that.
Okay.
And I've always, I've always used that as like an outlet.
Yeah.
And it always really helps me. I usually do it like right away. Like sometimes people wait, but I'm like, no, this is how I process. This is how I grieve. And
that's good that you did that without, like therapy or anything in that manner. You found a way, an outlet to help,
I am doing counseling right now, with my dad. It's definitely a lot harder than, the other losses. But
I'm so sorry to hear about that.
Thank you.
So, but that's one reason why I feel like this would be beneficial to someone out there, because people handle it different ways.
Yes.
When there is a loss, in their life. And also you stated pets.
Yeah.
With the pet loss as well,
too.
That's just like family. And, people have a hard time just as much as they do when
they do.
When it's an adult.
And there's not much out there really for pet loss. I haven't really found anything, other than maybe some podcasts to listen to or, but I really understand pet loss. I've experienced that. So I can help, navigate that through with you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I understand,
Yeah. So, okay. So if there's someone who's out there and they're really contemplating trying to make a decision, like some people may say, I don't need no grief coach, but they may need some type of, therapy or something. What type of words could you share with them to maybe help them make that decision?
Yeah. Well, I would say, if you're thinking about it, how you'd maybe, know that you need a grief coach is if you're feeling kind of stuck in your life, not really moving forward and wanting to move forward, no matter what that looks like. I would say then, yes, that's the time to reach out to a grief coach. A lot of times grief and depression go hand in hand. And, if you're feeling feelings of depression, if you're sleeping a lot, if you're, not getting things done and just not feeling motivated, that's a good time to reach out to someone.
Okay. To someone.
And it is, really hard to reach out. I know that, it seems easier to sit in your grief and your loss, but, it's really much, easier to reach out and to get that help. And
How long does grief normally last with someone when they've lost someone?
there is no formula to grief. Everyone grieves differently.
That's right.
It's so different to everyone. And you really can't put any there's no time frame. They say things like you'll go through these emotions, but I mean, that's not even a time frame. Everyone goes through those emotions differently. Some people don't have, all of those emotions either. So it's just so different for everyone, because really grief is a form of love. If you've loved and if you've lost, then you'll grieve that loss, whatever that is. So
yeah, I agree with you. There's no time on that. It may take years for some people, and it may take months for some.
Right.
So, one thing that you mentioned earlier when we were talking earlier, you said grief comes with good things as well. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So I kind of mentioned earlier that even the bringing of a baby into this world, that is such a joyous, wonderful thing. I have a 2-year-old, and that was just a wonderful time. But there is a grief to that as well. It's kind of a grief of losing yourself and losing your old life somewhat, but also grieving, how do I do this life? I want to be the best at this, and like, how do I make this happen? So there definitely was grief when I had a baby. That's just my personal example. But I mean, grief can come with good changes as well, because it's change. I mean, a lot of times people don't like change and don't want to don't want to deal with that. So I mean, I think grief, a lot of times it's things that are harder to deal with, but I mean, it's hard to deal to raise a baby too. So I mean, but it's a joyous thing. So you can have joy and pain, hand in hand, really.
Okay. All right then. Now, there's something that you mentioned earlier, podcast. You have a podcast.
I do.
That just started not too long ago, right?
Yes, it just came out a few weeks ago.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's the Grief Forward podcast.
Okay.
I would love for you guys to check it out. It's a lot of, me talking about my life and my stories, also friends and family sharing grief in their lives as well. And we're trying to encourage people too that, that you can be on the other side of it. We do share some stories of, people that are actually in it right now.
Okay.
But we try to give some joy and some hope.
Yeah.
In grief and loss. And we have some creative ways that we've done it. We've talked about food and that connection through family and friends, and how, how a lot of times, food connects you. And I have a recipe episode on there where my husband and I made his grandma's pound cake. So you have to go check it out.
Okay. Delicious.
Yeah. And we've got the recipe out there for you too.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. That's great. So the podcast is on, you said?
It's on all of the ways to find podcasts, on Apple, Spotify.
Okay.
I don't remember all of them, but those are like the main ones. But I mean, any place that you find your podcast.
Okay, all right then. And I'm also going to showcase your information down at the bottom, which is her phone number, Jenna's phone number, and also the email if you would like to reach out to her, contact her, and even if you just have a question, you're not really sure or something like that, you can call her pertaining to, grief or grief counseling. And once again, even with pet grief and pet counseling.
And I did want to let you know too that with coaching, that can be done in person, that can be done over the phone or through video, however, you feel it works for you, or we can switch it up. We can do a little bit of everything. But I can coach people that are local. I can coach people that are very far away. I can coach people internationally. So if you or someone could benefit from a grief coach, I mean, I can be here for just about anyone.
Awesome. So I just wanted to showcase once again Jenna Bonner, everyone. She's a sweet person. a great personality, and one who is also licensed who can help you with grief counseling. So we're asking you, if you know someone who may be in need, who needs a counselor, needs someone to talk to, maybe they just lost someone recently or lost a pet or something in that manner, feel free to reach out to Jenna. Once again, her information is down below. Her phone number is 574-527-8516. And also her email is on there as well, or you can even just call the CMB office here and we can give you her information as well. And Jenna, I just want to thank you so much for coming on. I know it was short notice, but when I heard, everything that you do, I really wanted to make sure that, people know.
Yeah,
people
I
know.
appreciate that.
Yeah, help is needed, especially during this time. Think about during the time of COVID,
Yes.
there's so many people that lost, lost loved ones. And I'm quite sure they could have used someone just to know that someone is listening, have a listening ear, and
that's when I started, which was right in the time of COVID.
Oh, really?
I did schooling in 2017 and then, got my certification and landed that in 2020. So that was, an interesting time to get that. Then. But I've been able to, help many people, and I'd love to help you if you need that.
Awesome. There's nothing new under the sun. Everyone is going through or maybe dealing with something. So here's an opportunity that you can just give a phone call, you guys, and just take a minute to call her. All right. So thanks, Jenna. Once again, we appreciate you. Everyone, you take care of yourself and be blessed out there. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.